Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Future Dimensions 360. As you guys know, in our last tutorial, we had learned about reference forwarding. So in our current tutorial, we will be learning about portals. What are portals? Why we need portals in React JS applications or web applications. So let me go ahead and try to explain you what are portals. I'll move forward to my public folder. Inside public folder, there is one index.html file. As in the beginning of this series, we had explained you guys very well that React, the full React application is working under this div with ID root. So what it's happening here is like React have an entry point index.js file. In the index.js file, React is getting the div element whose ID is root by using core JavaScript methods named as document.getElement by ID. And after getting this root, all your React app is rendering under this root element. So what I will do here is I will try to create a component called portals demo.js inside this RFC, and I'll just change this div to h1 and here also h1. I will try to import this in my app file. So what is my component? Portals demo. So that's it. It's done. Let me go to the browser and you guys can see my portal demo is appearing in the web browser very nicely. Let me try to inspect it. If I'll do inspect, you guys can see I have one div with ID root, another child div inside it with class app, and this my h1 is appearing under this under the div of class app or under the div with ID root. So what I want here is I don't want my h1 tag to come inside the div element whose ID is root. So what I want to do is I want to put this element outside the div whose ID is root. In other terms, I want to put this element outside the React.js application. So how we can do that? Let me show you. There are few simple steps we have to follow. I have to create instead of this div, I have to create another div. I have to give the ID by myself. I am giving here in my case root dash portals. I had created a one div element where I want to put my h1 tag. I have to get this tag at the top of my component const. I will say element equals to and document dot get element by id, same as it's the going on in the index.js file, and I have to pass the ID of that root where I want to put my h1 tag. Second step, what I have to do is I have to cut this JSX. In the return, I have to use React DOM. React DOM dot create portal. Let me import React DOM also. Import React DOM. React DOM is a class available inside React DOM library. React DOM, this is the library where this class is available, and create portal is the function of this class. I can use this function, and this function is taking two parameters as an input. First one is the JSX element. Either you can put JSX element as a parameter, you can put string as well, numbers as well, up to you, but JSX normally people they are passing. Second is the reference of that element where you want to add this element. So in our case, our reference is div with root portal ID. Let me go ahead and show you guys. Let me to reload. You guys can see like my portal demo is appearing still in my web browser, but this time if I will do inspect element, this h1 is not appearing under the root element. It's outside the root element in the different element named as root portal, the ID named as root portal. So this is how you can create portals. It's very normal and very easy, but Why we need portals? We need portals in three different scenarios. First, if you want to make any kind of modal in your UI, you must use portals, it's recommended. Second, if you want to make any kind of pop-up in your UI, you must use modal, it's recommended. Thirdly, if you want to make any kind of tooltip on any component or element, you can use modal in certain scenarios. So we had prepared an example here to show you in more detail about modal, why we need modal. We had code ready in sandbox. Sorry, I will add the description link there in the video. So let me go ahead and show you. In my public, there is index.js file. I have two different divs. One is root. Sorry. The other one is modal dash root. So what I want to do is in root, my normal app will appear. And when I'll click on this button, my modal will come under this div. How I can do that? In my index.js file, if you can see, my class is returning what it's returning, one portal. And in the portal first div, this is actually a modal div. And let's neglect in the child elements. This is about like intermediate, or you can say export level. We will talk about it later. But the second parameter for this is the same element modal root that we want to pass over modal. So let me go ahead and try to click. You guys can see my modal is coming into the screen. So what I will do here is I will try to remove this modal by using, I will try to remove this portal by removing the second element and this function. Let me hit save and try to click on the button. You guys can see the UI is braked. Why the UI is braked? Before it's appearing on top of full screen. Why? Because it's not in the root div. My root div is getting some styling, okay, and they're having some kind of width, maximum width limitation, or we are giving some specific width to my div inside. So my modal cannot go beyond that div because it's coming inside that div, or we are putting this component inside to that div. So these kind of limitation, when using these modals, pop-ups and tooltips, we are going to overcome those all limitation by using portals. So I hope you guys like by today's tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. See you soon inshallah. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.